ACLU says these are anti-immigrant operations. Is it anti-immigrant or anti-illegal immigrant?
Well, good evening. Great to be with you. So when we refer to these illegal immigrants, that's what we refer to them as, because they are illegally entering the country. It's not legal to enter the country through the river. We know that's a violation. That's not only a federal violation, but also a state violation with the trespassing on private ranches. So these are illegal immigrants that are coming across, and that's what we refer them to as.
When I heard about this and thought about it, in a way, yeah, there are more perhaps black and brown people who are coming across. At the same time, I'm looking at the video from where you found 110 people in the back of a trailer. You've got a lot of state troopers out there risking their lives to save the lives of illegal immigrants who are being smuggled and perhaps either sold into servitude or being used as drug mules at the same time.
Right, and that's what some of the media does not showcase. They do not talk about what the great work our men and women are doing to rescue some of these illegal immigrants. A perfect example is what you're showing right there on your screen, that video from Laredo, Texas. That was several days ago, in which our DPS troopers were able to rescue 100 illegal immigrants that were packed in that trailer, no air ventilation. So they were there at the right time. This situation could have been a lot worse if these individuals were moved further north. But again, just great work by our men and women being proactive and rescuing these illegal immigrants.
Yeah, from your guys' perspective, do you care whether the person who comes across is from El Salvador or Uzbekistan?
No, we don't. The fact of the matter is that those that are crossing or entering our borders illegally, especially those that are running and avoiding detection from law enforcement, we are going to take enforcement action. We do follow the rule of law, and that's what we're doing. That's the whole objective with Operation Lone Star, is to focus on the criminal element and to stem the flow of mass migration, to target and to interdict human traffickers and drug traffickers, as well as the weapons and currency that's going south to fight the cartels. So we are following the rule of law. And look, as we continue to talk about this throughout this whole operation, that's our main objective.
You know, in the beginning, we talked about Julio Rosa's reporting, where he said that the Border Patrol had essentially become the border enrollment, border processing. You and I have talked about this before. I'll be as blunt as I can. If the Biden administration was actively enforcing the border laws, say the way the Trump administration did, would Operation Lone Star need to happen?
It wouldn't, Leland. It wouldn't, because we worked the previous operation in 2014. We worked it almost, a little over 3 years. But of course, we're not seeing the numbers that we're seeing this year in 2021. The surge of illegal immigrants that are coming across, the unaccompanied children, the families, but most importantly, the single adults, the gotaways. We're seeing historic numbers that we've never seen before. And it's always been historic that December has always been a month where we've seen a decrease in numbers, but not this case. Of course, 2021 is a very unique year that we continue to see numbers escalate, and that's what we're seeing. There's no signs of this crisis slowing down.
Let me be more direct. Do you think that the ask for a lawsuit by the ACLU or the pushback against Operation Lone Star is more about social justice and the rule of law, or is it about trying to keep open borders and dissuade Texas from protecting itself?
I think it's another tactic in trying to keep open borders. I can tell you right now, Leland, that we do not have any official complaints filed against the state of Texas regarding Operation Lone Star, in particular what you just showcased earlier, and especially these articles that are coming out. But I can tell you that from previous years, we're not seeing these numbers. So again, every attempt that we try to do, every attempt that Governor Greg Abbott has tried to implement, whether it's a declaration order or some type of executive order, there's always pushback from the federal government. So what does that tell you? That they want open borders. And right now, they're not taking any action to safeguard Americans, to safeguard our borders. And that's why Texas has to continue to step in and take action.
Well, Lieutenant, we appreciate you coming on. It always says something when people are willing to answer the charges against them, as you guys just have, and we're always glad to have you, sir. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.